Welcome to I Testify Conversation Station. I'm your host for today. It's your girl, Mel. We'll be talking with the lovely ladies on the topic, Put the Phone Down. Our quote of the day says, our most important relationships can be dulled and diminished in favor of screen time, by Katie Goldman. A phone brings many benefits, but a huge downside can be the effect it has on our interpersonal relationships. Phones are addictive, that's a fact. Being plugged into our devices means we aren't truly present in the moment. We're focused on maintaining virtual relationships with people that aren't in the room, whether through email, WhatsApp, or Instagram likes. While you might manage to keep your smartphone use to a healthy level, what's undeniable is that the contents on the phone are just as destructive. I have two beautiful, opinionated women who will help me dissect this issue and its true effect on relationships today.
Hey everyone, my name is Mellissa, and I'm so happy to be on this show today.
I'm Tricia, and I'm also very happy to be here. It's my first time actually doing one of these calls, so I'm very excited.
Thank you, Mellissa and Tricia, for joining us today. Now, these two, fun fact, these two are best friends. They've been best friends for over 18 years. I mean, their heart beats at the same time. They could speak at the same time and possibly even wear the same clothing. Let's see if they can think the same way. And so today's topic, once again, is put the phone down. Now, is it more of a man or a woman's issue? Let's start with Tricia, then Mellissa.
I think it could be both. I think for females, I don't know, even with me, I like to post sometimes. I like to see what's in fashion, the news, cooking. I mean, I do like social media for that, but also for like men too. They go on it for other reasons, sports, news, dating. I mean, I think it's 50-50.
50-50. And Mellissa, what about you?
Yeah, I actually agree with Tricia as well. I think it's 50-50. I think different genders go on for different reasons. So like myself, again, I like to post. I like to post different memes or just like different statements. Sometimes it's more like uplifting or just to state a point. Or if someone is going through that experience or that scenario, I post it just it's more of uplifting. And with men, I mean, I feel like, they do go on to post as well. But it's a 50-50. But then again, now that I'm talking to you guys about it, it could be more of like a woman thing because we post more. We want to it's more like attention. We want to see what's out there. So, yeah.
Right. So Mellissa and Tricia both agree that it's 50-50. But Mellissa points the fact that women probably more post, men probably more watch or see.
Yes,
right?
Men watch more.
Yeah, they're very sneaky with it too.
They are.
And they comment.
So now in relationships, who do you think takes the credit more for ruining the relationship when it comes to the screen time? Who's the problem?
It could be both too though.
Both.
You don't especially, I mean, let's say example, say I'm in a relationship and, my significant other is on it all the time. And I'm having a conversation with him and he's just on his phone. Like you're just glued to your phone. I mean, that to me is like kind of like you're ignoring me, right? You're distracted. Something else is taking over your time. Right. And that to me is like, it's a no-no, so.
I feel with me, I find it can be 50-50 as well. I feel like nowadays everything's on display. So it's so easy to find things, to watch things.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But also on the other hand, your partner could be going on social media to find things, who's your friends or who's liking your picture. So I feel like it's 50-50, which can create problems in a relationship as well, right? You're trying to find something that's not there or that's there. It's crazy.
Yeah, social media
can create problems in a relationship. Yeah.
Don't you think though, like that men probably have more, or women have an issue with men when it comes to phones, when it's interrupting maybe our time, or maybe maybe an insecurity about what he sees. For women, it's more like men are just annoyed at the fact that we're just always on this thing. We're in the car, we're on this thing. You get what I'm saying? I think it's two different issues with women. The issue for men is what they are seeing. The issue for men towards women is the amount of time. Did you agree to that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, and I feel like we're all guilty of it. Like, we're all on our phone all the time. It's true though. Like,
you hear ding.
Yeah,
you just like run to your phone. It's like separating anxiety.
But the thing is, how society is now, it's like everything is on your phone. Everything's on your phone now. You pay your bill on your phone. You watch the news on your phone. You know, you send everything on the phone. So it's like, you're always on your phone.
Yeah. Like dating sites.
Dating is on the phone. Yeah.
Like everything. Yeah. Well, I use the same example before. Like, let's say, you know, you're in a relationship with a person and they're just on their phone. They're glued to their phone. They're distracted, right? It's like almost like, who am I to you, right? It's like what the things that are on their phone. They're probably looking at like even if they're looking at like a game or whatever. It's still gonna if the time is not spent, if quality time is not spent with me, I'm gonna be upset. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm gonna feel like, okay, I'm rejected, I'm ignored. Like, I want to have that valuable time. But then what's on the phone, like what Tricia mentioned, it could be as simple as like even like looking at the points of the game or whatever, right? But like if there's no time involved and you're always constantly on your phone, you hear the ding sound and you're running to your phone, and like, oh, like, or even hiding your phone too, right? It's like kind of like it makes me feel like not wanted. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it makes me feel like my time is not valued to that person.
I think you brought up good points there. You said you feel ignored. Feel like you're rejected. And I think that's where people forget. Like, it's not so much about the phone, but it's about your priorities of phone to a point where you neglect our union. You neglect the time that we can take to actually, you know, value one another, make each other feel valued, like Mel said, and grow. Some people don't grow because literally, I feel like you end up feeling like you're so involved in someone's life. We're talking about LaToya. Like, you feel like you're so involved in their relationship or in their life that you neglect them. So you're like, their happiness, your happiness, but like in your current moment, in your current relationship, you are not happy. So it makes you like almost like live other people's lives, and it's facing you.
And they're not even in the room with us. They're not even like the person. We don't even know them.
We don't even know them.
We know their personalities from what we see on the screen. No problem, right? But like at the same time, it's like, no, I don't know them, but I'm so glued into, oh my goodness, like, are they gonna break? Like, you know, are they broken up now? And I'm not obviously I'm not wishing that. I mean, like you're just following their lives. And you have your spouse there asking just to spend some time, and it's just like, you know, spouse, partner, whatever, boyfriend, girlfriend type of thing. It's just ridiculous nowadays. It's very sad how not even social media, but the phone itself has just taken. It's like the norm. This is the norm.
We're more involved in other people's lives that we don't even know, like you said, more than what are we doing for ourselves? Or we want to be like them, or we want to do this like them. It's like, put the phone down. Let's focus on, you know, what you're trying to do for yourself.
It's an addiction.
Yeah, it can be an addiction. It can be though.
How does a phone affect our self-worth?
As a female too, like if you're looking on social media, these females on social media look gorgeous, flawless, perfect skin, perfect bodies. And it's like, wow, you know, you wish you had that sometimes. You know, everyone has insecurities and that's fine, but it can mess with your mental health. And that's when it becomes a problem, when it messes with your mental health. And like you said, jobs, businesses, you know what I mean? Like you want those things, right? But you never know what someone's going through. Social media isn't like always true. Anybody can post anything about their relationship on social media. But you don't know what the relationship is really about. You don't know what they're going through. People only post good things on social media.
True. Facts.
That's
never
it.
The bad. Never the bad. Because you don't want
never the bad.
The image would be, then no one would follow you. Like if you're always posting bad things, everyone's like, oh, like, you know, next, you know what I mean? But the whole social image that you talked about, like honestly, guys, it is real. I can attest to that. It is real. I look at somebody on my Instagram, I'm like, oh my goodness, I need to like do like fix my hair more properly, or like get the lace fronts, get the glue. Like it's real. I'm telling you guys, it's so real. And sometimes I feel like, okay, am I pretty enough? Like, am I good enough? Like, how come, guys, let me tell you, it is psychological. It's real. It is out there. Real. And for me, I said before, I go through it. I'm not scared to say, I'm not afraid to say it. I look at people and I'm just like, I wish I looked like that. Or I wish I could, like, obviously I would never, I love my natural body. I would never get nothing done to my body, nothing like that. But I just mean, like, just even like different makeup, or like, I don't know.
Yeah. And there's like, so many,
or like, just little stuff like that. You feel like, oh my goodness, I don't look as good, or as like, will that person even want me? They look at me. Or if I post a picture, oh, like, do I look really good? Like, should I just delete it? Like, you don't have that confidence because you're seeing people that are like always looking like 100% like,
perfect.
Whoa, perfect. Yes. But what Tricia said is, we don't know how they got to that though. People are struggling, but they won't post that.
Exactly. And so how does that affect your relationship? So for a man and a woman, like, how does that affect your relationship? The fact that it's taking away from you. How would that affect relationship?
Insecurity.
Yeah.
You feel
I
insecure.
feel like if you're insecure and it's taken away from your self-worth, it's hard to give someone 100%. If you're not happy with yourself,
you can't give it.
It's so hard for you to be happy in a relationship. Yes. It's just, that's how it is. So it mixes in together. Like, you have to make sure that you're happy yourself before wanting to be in a relationship. So if you're on social media and you're not happy and you're seeing all these people, perfect lives, this and that, how are you going to be happy in a relationship?
Even if a guy tells you like, oh, you look good, or like, oh my gosh, you did your hair, it's just like, but in your head, it's like, well, I don't look like the person that you were looking at.
Exactly, right?
Or like you like their picture. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like, it's always going to be there. It doesn't matter if he tells you that you look good. It doesn't matter. You have to love yourself. It's self-love, self-worth, self-confidence. Yeah. Once that, listen, I can look at you and be like, okay, she look good too. Like, you know what I mean? It's like you don't think about, oh, I should be looking like that, because you know in yourself that you look amazing, and that's how it should be. That's how it should be.
That's how it should be, but it's not though all the time. It's real, like Mel said, it's real.
Like, you even get to the extent of, let's say you are in a happy relationship, you start wanting to look good for the likes and the attention of people you don't even know. And the person that's in front of you is telling you that you are this and that, and they mean it. But that doesn't mean much to you. It doesn't matter how much he or she tells you you're handsome or you're beautiful. In your mind, you're like, I'm not like her, or I'm not like them.
Exactly.
Because they're not giving today. I got 32 likes yesterday. I only got 100. That I don't look good. And so, like, the danger of the phone itself and the contents in the phone is so real. If we're not careful, the reason why we're unhappy and the reason why many of us are not even in relationships that are progressive, because being in a relationship doesn't mean you're there. It's not a destination. No. The people in relationships that are better not being in the relationship. So it's like, but we're realizing that in this generation, for some odd reason, it's the central focus is the phone, social media, about it.
Yeah. But now it's like, oh, how many likes you can get, how many followers you can get.
Yeah.
That's what it's like makes you in society nowadays. Not even about talent or like who you are. No. It's crazy.
Have you ever noticed, guys, that let's say we're in a group, like all three of us, whatever, and like everyone's on their phone. Like, like there's no conversations anymore. No, it's actually the truth, guys. Like, there's no conversations. Like, oh, how was your day? How are you doing? No. Oh, I noticed that you've been, feeling away or looking away or whatever. How can we do, what can we do to help? No, it's just like, you're just on the phone, guys. You're just on the phone. There's no conversation starting. And it's like, okay. Like,
and don't wonder, like, when you talk about, people are struggling with mental health, they committed suicide and people around them didn't even know, even their own spouses. It's things like this. Like, we're so taken away by our phones and digital things and whatever technology, that you even, like, you two as best friends, sometimes, like, you can even overlook what they're going through, or they just said to you, I'm not having a good day. And you're like, like, you know what I mean? You don't even mean to do it, not because you don't like the person. Like, you're generally there, but you're also in another place. You're
your phone. Yeah.
Now, how do you mend that How do you mend the effect of it making the communication decrease in a relationship? How do you fix that with phone use?
You need to talk to your partner. Sit down with them without any phones. Just sit down. No. You sit down with them with no phones and just say, like, listen, I've been noticing, And even other people will notice it too, not just maybe your friends will notice that, okay, you're whoever's on the phone all the time. But like when you can sit down and just say, how can we fix this? Like, can we maybe have a time where we just have our phones down and we're just having a conversation, like an hour? Like, can you give me your time? It's all about, I think, guys, it's all about communicating. Once you communicate your feelings and tell them, this is how I feel rejected. I feel like you're ignoring me. I feel like I'll be talking to you about, like, let's say, something that happened at work, but you didn't hear me. You're just nodding your head, saying, but you're on your phone. That makes me feel sad. I feel, I don't like that. So do you mind, like, let's just, have a time where when we're doing valuable things, the phone is away, even if you want to turn it off or turn it on silent. I think that can help. That can also help, because you have to tell the person how you're feeling. If you don't tell them how you're feeling, it won't get fixed. So yeah.
Good point, Mel. Like, in addition to communicating about maybe the amount of time you spend on the phone, do you think it's important to have a conversation on what we actually see as a couple on the phone, like individually? Like, don't you think that's more of an important conversation? Like, okay, me and you are building towards something, right? And we know the effects things online have on our minds, the things that we see, maybe the things that the people he's following or the people that you're following, post things that could, basically like change the way you think and affect how you guys make decisions. Do you think that is an important conversation that we don't have with one another?
Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm. We don't really talk about that really when we go into a relationship, I don't think. You know what I mean? But I feel like it should be. I think that should be conversation, definitely.
But wonder if the person brings up trust. One of you says to you, well, you should be trusting, like when I'm on the phone, you should be trusting what I'm doing. What do you say to that? Like, if you feel in your heart that you don't want that person to be, because listen, guys, there's these girls on there, like it's not about, it's about trust, of course, to trust your partner. But right. Again, it's like they can say, well, don't trust me? And it's like, okay, what do you say about that? Like, what do you say to that? Because I know it's all about respect, yes. So you're gonna think that they're not gonna like be liking those pictures, but then
right
when they are, like, it's like, but I think it's all about when they ask you about the trusting, what do you say about that? Like, do you trust me? Like, what do you say about that though?
I think it's more on the delivery, but you can just bring it up in general. Like, I notice how like things that we look at on the phones, and you don't even have to mention like naked women or such things, but things that we see on our phones have an impact on the mind. I think everyone in this generation or anyone who's alive can agree to that. So you can just have a conversation about the importance of how a healthy mind requires us to feed it with healthy things. And then you can kind of gauge, as you go through that conversation, gauge where this person's mind's at. You're going to see the things that they watch and the things that they the things that they occupy their time with. But now it's up to you in that conversation. It's those conversations that allow you in their response to see where they're at mentally. It allows you to help you to make the decision to know, do I move forward with this type of person? Because I think those are kind of the red flags that we kind of bypass. We don't think they're important. And then when we get in, we realize, okay, this person just wants to be a rapper like the rest of the internet. Like, those things, like, they get that from the internet. Everybody's a rapper, everyone's dropping, like, everyone has a big butt, like all those things. And you start to realize, okay, maybe this person isn't strong enough to actually make decisions that make them happy, but rather what everyone else is doing.
Mm-hmm. So it could be fixable if the person actually wants to do it. Like if the person doesn't want to, then red flag, So let's put it down for a bit. Let's go for a walk. Like, it's quality time with that person. I'm telling you, it can change things. But it has to be like, other person has to agree with it too, right? Not just you saying it, but like the other person has to agree, and then you can work on that. Very sad.
Yeah. Now let's talk about, what are the warning signs? How do you know you're addicted to the phone? How do you know the phone is sabotaging your relationship?
When you hear the sound and you're running to it, or when it's when you forget I forgot my phone, and I don't care if I'm 2 minutes from the location. I'm going back to get my phone. We need our phone. It's like that's not good. Like, I should be able to live without my phone for the day. Yeah. But I might miss that text message. I might miss that phone call. Why? Like, why does it have to be like that? I would literally drive back home to get my phone. That's a big, that's not, I think that could wait. You know what I mean? Like, if there's an emergency, the person could obviously call 911 or something like that. But I'm just saying, like, I don't feel like you don't have to have your phone on you. Like if I forget it, I can wait to get home, but I won't. I won't do that.
That's so true. Another warning sign.
I'm driving back to get my phone. Yeah.
What about ignoring people? What about your spouse or your friends, family feeling like you're ignoring them?
That's reality. It happens all the time, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, and it's unfortunate, but I feel like that's what the phone and social media does to you sometimes. Like it, you know what I mean? It kind of like puts you in this whole world that you're not even a part of. Like, you know, you don't know these people,
you don't know
but
them.
You have to be a part of it. You have to swipe up. You have to like, you know, you have to read the gossip.
So that whenever you're talking to me now, I could be like, oh yeah, I did watch that.
Yes.
It's a sense of belonging. You have to, it's a trend. You have to fit in. You have to just be in the know.
Social media is great too, because even with news, you get it instantly. Not just like industry, like celebrity news, like actual news, you get it instantly. You stay connected with family and friends.
Yeah.
You know, you put your business out there, you know, promoting businesses and things like that. So
actually, you know what?
Yeah. Social media is good. And I mean, you're connected to the world within one click of a button.
You literally.
You can talk to people that are like so far. So social media isn't bad, but it's your misuse of your time.
Yes.
And the people that you live with feel a certain way that becomes wrong. But in its essence, it's probably one of the best things that's happened to this generation in terms of things being convenient, information being there within like a second, being able to, you know, resolve an emergency quick. Think about dialing 911, you know, you don't have to like an hour or two, right? So it's things like that that make it well. What another warning sign is people who don't see the problem.
Yeah. Or they don't apologize for it.
Because they don't even think it's an issue. Like, oh no, I'm not on my phone. It's like, yes, you are.
Yeah, you are.
They're so immune. Yeah, exactly. You don't see the problem.
Yes. And that's when it's the problem. If someone's telling you, if I'm telling you, Tricia, you know, whenever we chill, you're always on your phone. We go out for dinner, you're always on your phone. And if you're saying, okay, that's nice. So, you know, really? And you're not acknowledging and taking accountability for that, then it's going to ruin a relationship. Just like, it doesn't matter. The relationship, friendship, doesn't matter what kind of relationship it is. It's going to ruin it. Because then I'm going to be like, okay, she doesn't value our time together.
Exactly.
And also a point, like, let's say Tricia and I go out for dinner or, well, not now, guys, it's COVID, but yeah, pre-COVID, whatever. I would say, Tricia, do you mind? Like, I'm just going to check my phone for a second. If you tell the person I'm checking something on my phone, excuse me, that's polite, that's respectful. And it shows that, okay, I value the person's time, but I'm just saying, excuse me for 1 second, let me just check something.
Exactly.
You know, it could be an emergency. You don't know what's happening in your day to day, but when you communicate, as I said before, I always mention that communication, it goes a long way. Because the person will be like, okay, actually, no, Melissa is checking her phone. And I put it down and I go back to, you know, let's say the dinner, you know what I mean? So I think it's just like respecting and being polite and just telling the person, like, excuse me, do you mind if I just, you know, check something for a second? But if you're checking something for like an hour, then I don't, that's a bit different. But
exactly, especially when you're out with someone. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
That's not cool.
Whether it's a friendship or whether it's a romantic relationship, you're trying to understand and get to know each other. So you're watching every development of each other's characters. And part of it is going to be watching to see what is the priority in your life. Because if the phone is the priority, then I know that I'm not going to be important.
Yeah.
But there's no need for me to value myself in your life, you know? So like the step that we take in terms of solidifying friendships, you guys have been friends for 18 years, the step that you take in, you know, finding your soulmate, it's probably one of the most important things in your life, because I think you can agree they help shape who you are today. You know? So I heard someone say what you watch or what you allow yourself to see most will influence who you're going to be. So the question is, whatever they're watching, whatever they're seeing in terms of their phone, is that what you want to be with? Because that's what they're going to become.
Yes.
You know, and that's probably the hardest thing to answer in this generation, because I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. It's really hard.
But I miss pre-social media. Like I really do. I miss the 90s. I miss just, you know, being with your family. Like you said, playing outside. You know what I mean? Just being with people, talking, meeting people in person. Not on social, you know what I mean? I miss that. And I wish we can go back to that. I really do.
But the most important thing is, you know, you must set an example. right? For even the people around you. It's setting those boundaries, because what you are and what you present to them is what they're going to take as being okay for how they treat you. You set the pace, you show people how you want to be treated. So
That's right.
We must get intimate with people, like Mel said, take some time, communicate with them, step up your intimacy level, let's put our phones away, let's get to know each other. And so these are the things that we learned today. We said that it's 50-50. Men and women struggle with this thing just in different ways.
Yeah, different ways.
One might be the contents that you're actually saying, because 1 minute of saying a naked woman is just enough for you to think it's okay. And then that grows. And next thing you know, infidelity.
Yes.
With that 1 second to just get you away, But 5 hours of watching a cooking show can make you a good chef. Right. So it's not just about the time, it's about what you are seeing, what you're allowing to shape your mind. And so I want to thank you ladies for joining us today. I mean, we could chat up a storm. And
we could chat all day.
All day, guys. All day, guys.
Yeah, we can. We really could.
Literally, we could go all day. But I mean, we learned a lot. And it's nice to get the perspective from women, because men think we are the problem. But for men to be able to hear that we actually reason it out. And they also have a problem.
Yeah.
I think it was nice to hear that. So if you just have one final thing you could give, we'll start with Mel. One final thing you could give as motivation, inspiration, or a solution to this issue and how we can all move forward. Now is your time.
Yeah. Just don't let social media take over your life. There's a time and place for everything. And if you are with someone, just spend time with them. Put down the phone. The phone is always going to be there. Social media is always going to be there. Online shopping is always going to be there. Everything is always going to be there, right? We pay our phone bills each month. It's going to be there. I think just that quality time with that person, whether it's friendship, spouse, it's just good to have that sense of belonging with that person and not on social media. Because I don't know that person. They don't know me, right? So it's like just being able to just be having that relationship with that person. It's honestly, I think it's better than anything. So yeah. So just put your phones down and just spend quality time with the people who truly love you. Yeah.
And Tricia.
I feel like last year with COVID, so much has happened. So I feel like it really puts you in a place to appreciate people more. Social media, like Mel said, is always going to be there, but just kind of, appreciate the people around you more. Put the phones down, say I love you more, you know what I mean? Just be with those who you love, because life is so short, as we all can see, with COVID and everything, life is too short.
The greatest relationship is between us and God.
Yes.
That personal relationship. And if you can neglect our just regular human beings over the phone, we do the same with God. He reminds us in Proverbs 4:25-27 that you got to keep looking straight ahead without turning aside. You have to know where you're headed, and you must stay on solid ground. He said, don't be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God. So the real question is, what is God's will? Am I neglecting searching the scriptures to find out what God's purpose for my life is? The reason why you may be miserable, the reason why we're dealing with mental health, the reason why we're not even happy in our relationships is we don't know where we're going, and we don't have anyone to direct us where we're going. For the only person who can direct us where we would find happiness and peace is God. And so he says, more than anything, guard your heart in Proverbs 4:23. Protect your mind, for your life flows from it. What you think is who you are. What you see is who you are. And what you eat is who you are. And so once again, thank you, Mel B, LLS. And thank you, Tricia, for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
We appreciate it so much. It was fun.
I'm so honored. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. No, for real.
Part two is coming. Everyone, part 2 is coming. And so to all our listeners, to all our viewers, make sure to share, like, comment, and subscribe. This is I Testify Conversation Station.
So it could be fixable if the person actually wants to do it. Like if the person doesn't want to, then red flag, you know? So let's put it down for a bit. Let's go for a walk. Like it's quality time with that person. I'm telling you, it can change things, but it has to be like, other person has to agree with it too, right? Not just you saying it, but like the other person has to agree, and then you can work on that.